Welcome to Conexpo 2023. So we are before the show, all the chaotic, everything getting all set up. So this is actually Sunday, so 2 days before the show opens. I want to get in here and just kind of show you a little behind the scenes of getting everything set up and just how much effort it takes to get a show like this set up. So I'm gonna walk around, show a little bit of this stuff, and then talk to a couple guys who have been here for the setup of the whole entire show, and just kind of explain of how much stuff it takes to make all this work. So here is the new EC230 fully electric excavator. This is the electric option. As you can tell, they have changed a whole lot of stuff around. Where the engine is now currently the battery packs. So the batteries go from right here all the way across to the side over there. Charging port is right here. I'm just going to do a walk around. I don't know the specifics of everything right now, but like I said, a little behind the scenes. Cab is pretty much set up the exact same way as my current machine, and I think it'll tell you all the specifics of like your battery life and usage rates and everything in the monitor there. So we'll come over here and check out the other side. Standard boom, dig assist as everything. The what used to be the fuel tank is now another cooling part. You got your battery disconnect right there, 12 volt, I guess, to run everything else. And then on this side, now the hydraulic pump is spun sideways, and there's a electric motor that turns the gear for the hydraulic pump. So the batteries actually come all the way to like right here, pretty much exactly where the motor would sit is now all battery packs. And then you have some more cooling fans up here. I imagine that is for the hydraulic, because you still have to cool your hydraulic oil, as it's still going to get heat from running the machine. But other than that, everything's pretty much set up the exact same way. So it'd be nice to hear it run, as it's probably didn't make too much noise, just the little bit of noise from the electric motors turning the pump. And there is the new ECR 355. So that's like a 80,000 pound machine with a blade, quick coupler, and digging bucket. There's the new release right there. We'll have to wait till Tuesday to see what that is. So lots of cool stuff. They got a quad axle dump truck here. This is the new hydrogen fuel cell 20-ton off-road truck. So it's actually electric and hydrogen. So it's got like 4 hydrogen tanks in the engine compartment. And what that does is that powers the, I got to make sure that I recap this like he said, but this charges or turns the generator to charge the batteries, which supplies power to the truck. So it's definitely a pretty cool setup here. So now instead of an engine, you have the hydrogen tanks, your cooling fans are right here, and 2 more tanks right there. And then the batteries are now in the frame under the bed right here. So now the battery bank is literally right here, all the way down to the front axle right there. And then more cooling fans back here. So standing up here, you can kind of see a little bit more of the booth. There's still, like I said, everything's still getting all set up, so they got plastic everywhere. It actually looks a lot more put together than I was expecting. Normally, like 2 days before crunch time, it's just like stuff everywhere. So looks like they got it pretty well organized, other than cleaning some plastic up and setting up the building right there. So here we have a EC250. This one actually is set up remote control to be able to stand from the side. He's actually wearing the remote control right there. to run the machine from outside the cab. We have a little competition set up over here with the EC18 picking up some poles and putting them in there. EC25 over there is going to pick up some little plates over there and put on your numbers. They're going to have a roulette wheel right there, so definitely some pretty cool games to play right here. So right here we have a couple engines on display on this side, a couple more right here. The new L350H loader. So that is actually the EWR 130 that was from the customer center they brought here. Got it all cleaned up. So a lot of this equipment comes from the plant and or the customer center to make it here. Some stuff they just have to pull from whatever dealer they can get. It really depends on who can get it here the quickest and supply the equipment that they need for the show. So we'll walk around and check out some of this stuff over here. So a lot of behind the shows, what they'll do is first couple of days before the show, they'll do a lot of practice runs to kind of go through and just make sure that everything's set up, working right, and a lot of practicing to make sure that everything goes right. So we'll check on that. He's going through his script on stuff to say. They're making sure the speakers work, show the monitors working. A lot of behind the scenes stuff here. All right, so I'm here with Danny Freeman. You've been here quite a while, haven't you?
We have. We've been here, end of January, actually, when Marty Breedlove came out. Started 29th of January, I believe, receiving machines. So we even had machines come back in December, actually, at our stage.
So what I want to do is a quick little video on, like, this is Conexpo 2023. All the behind the scenes of what it takes to get this show started. So obviously all this equipment just doesn't show up last Friday and you drive it in here and within a week it's set up. So you said actually since the end of last year, first of this year,
yes,
that equipment has been arriving.
Yes.
So what is, there's a big off-site storage yard?
Yeah, so we actually got a place off-site where we staging yard where we bring these machines in. Obviously we can't bring it in here 3 months early, right?
Because I think Marty said it was like February 13th. You couldn't bring anything into the lot before February 13th.
Yep.
So all this equipment, staging yard, you stage it, they'll come and wash it, detail it, because everything's, it's got to be pristine.
It is.
There's not mud and everything caked on it.
No, and that's the thing. So yeah, you've got a timeline where you get your machines in, so it's better to stage it.
Yeah.
Do the pressure washing, cleaning as you just said, and then whenever you work for the trucking company to get the machines into the yard, and they even come out, like if you look at it like the booth, we built the building first.
Yeah.
And then we have machines that
you kind of fill in around it. Yeah, like the big machines, you got to bring that in first.
That's right.
Because there's, they're not the only, you're not the only booth here. Every other, manufacturer's here.
Absolutely.
So your path gets smaller and smaller as the days progress, as far as, being able to get a 50, 60 ton machine in here, it gets difficult.
Yeah, and there's strategic things as well, like your excavators, large excavators, obviously they would need to come in first because you have to have more room, but still plate down to track them on.
Because you have to put down protection for the parking lot, don't you?
Absolutely.
So if you're driving a 50, 60 ton machine in here, you've got to build pretty much a walkway for it to walk on.
Yep.
So you're not tearing up, because all this is asphalt under it, isn't it?
It's all asphalt. So you can't, like you said, 50 ton excavator.
Yeah.
You're going to destroy the asphalt, then we're paying for the...
You got to pay for that. So
steel plate, plywood, even our excavators now are sitting on plywood sheets so they don't sink into the asphalt.
I can only imagine people that's got like those huge cranes over there.
Yeah.
I mean, one of those cranes is like 1,000 tons.
Right. It is. It's over that. It's, there's some large
I think
cranes.
I've heard stories of just creating a road of just destroying the asphalt, because it wasn't, this place wasn't designed for all this.
It was not.
Back in the day.
Not back in the day.
Not back in the day. They didn't know that. What does this loader even weigh?
The 350. That's a good question. I don't know the exact weight on it. I'm an excavator guy.
Let's just say there's a lot more weight on these 4 tires than there would be on like a 50-ton excavator.
There is, but it's spread out a lot.
Yeah, it's spread out more on the excavator.
So,
but this right here would tear up an asphalt probably more as far as weight wise.
Right.
So all that's got to take into consideration when moving in here.
Yep.
So equipment's here, you're cleaning it up, and then February 13th is go time when you can actually bring equipment in.
Yep.
So that's literally almost a month before the show as far as bringing the equipment in here, setting the building up, and then doing all your, I guess, landscaping, ground cover, setting up the games and everything.
Yep, absolutely.
So how long have you been here?
So I'm working on my 4th week now.
4th week here.
Yep. Yeah.
And the fun part is you get to be here this week, and then you got to take all this stuff down, right?
That's the following week.
The following week.
So we'll actually start right after the show on Saturday, moving some of the rubber tire stuff out
of here.
You know, that's our,
so
that's our plan.
how soon do they want you gone out of here?
Well, there is a deadline on that. We haven't got the drop dead date. Right
But it's
now.
quick.
But it's quick. It's because
There's more stuff that's got to come here.
Right. We got to get everything out, and there's it's so they can start the next show.
Absolutely.
Right? That's what Vegas does. Yep.
That's why they have stuff
All right, thanks,
here.
Andy.
One show
Any
after next show
application
after
for job
another
site
show
where the operators
of
would be
stuff here.
potentially dangerous
So we've seen a lot of weather this time starting.
I heard it
back.
snowed.
It was snowing
You had
right where we're standing.
70-mile-an-hour winds.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Rain where we were standing here, where we're standing at now, is like 4 inches of water.
And it only rains like 3 times a year here.
Yeah, so
and you were
we-
lucky enough to see one of the.
We've seen it all, honestly, so it just makes it more challenging when you're here.
Absolutely.
It's all good. It's a show.
Why do they pick Vegas? Is it supposed to be like year-round the best weather? I mean, I know it's
Typically this time of year, it's cleaning.
Yeah.
It is getting more milder weather, better sunshine
Than anywhere
Average
else, yeah.
temperatures move anywhere from 60 to 75.
Good
something like
temperatures
that.
for
So there's good
March.
temperature. So yeah, March is the earliest area for that, and I think that's why a lot of people migrate to do their shows here.
Yeah.
They have
And
large.
it's probably a lot easier to get equipment here too, since everything's kind of
It is.
out in the open.
Less restrictions on the equipment too, as far as transport goes. Yeah, that kind of thing.
So I was talking with Chris there. He was saying that a lot of these machines will be sold when they leave the show.
Yeah.
He was saying like this one's already spoken for. That one he's actually getting it set up, and it'll have company logos put on it.
It will.
So y'all strive to
Yeah,
whatever you don't have to take home is good for you.
Right after the show, we can just send them to the customer that wants them. I mean, you'll see, like Pensy Supply, CRH has
Yeah.
bought the fossil free. Insurance Auto Auctions has purchased
That one, yeah, he said that was going to a salvage
This
yard.
one is already sold as well. I mean, all the machines are already promised.
Wow.
So there might be one or two that's not, but I'm sure before the end of the show,
A lot of them will be spoken for. When they're already spoken for before the show's even.
Yeah, before the show
So, I mean,
starts.
you said that one came from the customer center, right?
It did.
That was the demo. I think we played on that one
You've actually ran that machine
in,
before after
in
customer
October. So
service.
you had to take that machine and get it all cleaned up after being on top of a muddy pile of dirt.
Yep, it was
And
totally,
get it show quality.
used. Yeah, show quality now, but it was, the tires had ground in and mud in them and stuff like that. So there's a
You
lot
got to
of
clean that up,
work, detailing.
and then, like you said, with the dump truck over there, it got damaged in shipping. So that
Yeah.
was something that you weren't expected that you had to handle. So I mean,
Right,
you have
right.
stuff like that comes up where
Yep.
it shows up damaged, and you don't have time to get a replacement. So you've got to
Yeah.
make the decisions to fix.
repair it, paint it, whatever. Even people don't realize, but there's a lot of off-site painting. Right?
Yeah.
Like we painted the whole cab on that truck. Yeah, they sent us pictures. The fender, give you an idea, the fender's laying on the ground, right, and the hood's
We're
damaged.
sorry we tore your truck up, but the parts are in the back.
Yep,
So
and this happens to be one truck that's built this way, so
Yeah.
we don't have spare parts
Yeah.
yet. It's a prototype.
It's a prototype.
Truck. It's a hydrogen electric machine, so it's very hard to. I can't
call
just
up the dealer and be like, I need a fender
Yeah.
for
Right.
a hydrogen cell truck, and they're going to be like, a what?
Yeah, right. So it's not 1-800 parts.
Yeah.
Because it's one
It's one.
part, right? So we had to get with manufacturers that was here, have them repair the fiberglass, put it all back together, put everything back on the truck, that kind of thing.
Make it work.
And then paint the truck because the paint that they put on it didn't match the rest of the truck. So then we pretty much had to paint, I would say 50% of the truck.
Of the truck, the whole
repainted.
cab stuff, and that was something you completely didn't plan on having to do.
Didn't plan
So
on
that
it.
was thrown in the loop of
And that's one
everything
thing,
else that you have to do here.
Absolutely, Chris. And that's
So
one
just-
thing we try to do is then we give ourselves enough time, but it's still pushing it when you're
Oh
trying
yeah,
to do that.
and then like I said, it rained, it snowed.
did.
You can't, you know.
Wind, all that. We've cleaned
You
machines.
can only do so much.
We have cleaned machines over and over, honestly.
And Marty was saying, like, as far as the equipment, like at the end of every day, somebody comes in here and wipes the dust down and you know cleans stuff up and gets it, you know, where people been in and get it presentable for the
every
next
day.
day.
We'll have a crew come in. They'll
After
do
the
the
show.
wipe downs and stuff, and we want to keep the machines clean to where we don't have to worry about COVID or any other sickness, and we want our machines looking pristine for our customers.
To see for the next day.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Well, I greatly appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Shows everybody all the work that goes behind the scenes of Conexpo. We've made it big time. No 3-stick control here. Productivity gets a question before I dig this whole hole out. Do I have to fill it back in?
Yes.
Oh no. So I noticed that.
It looks like a mess.
Oh,
Clean up your mess.
hold on. The swinging. I didn't do my workout this morning. The foot swing is a little rough.
Aren't the kids gonna love it?
Yeah, they will love it. All right, we're going to get a scoop here. So, yeah, they got it set up on backhoe control here. We got our boom over here, our bucket's in the center, and then our stick outs over here. But you know what? I got it figured out now. Like running a backhoe here. We just get it figured out. I don't know if I'm going to do any fine grading, but
I'm gonna run over here and check on these guys. What was it'll cut off.
Okay.
Now, to help
So check out this new L200H high lift log loading loader.
that's the way we planned it.
I mean, that's pretty much a log truck bunk right there. I'd say that's probably 7 or 8 tons worth of logs there.
OEM in the industry.
Wonder where they had to get the pine trees from. I don't think there's any in Vegas.
Fully electric excavators.
Well, that's interesting. Built with fossil-free steel.
This is what it looks like when it
I'll have to inquire on that one. So as you can tell, they still got plastic down everywhere. The 350.
starts here. Thank you. So, which machines and tools are right for your project?
So he's in there. You got it figured out?
Matter to you.
Getting there? Oh, okay. I would offer advice, but this is out of my league right here. Doing good.
Good to see you.
So Chris is getting the L90 set up right there. He said actually most of these machines are sold. That one's going to a big insurance company. Uses it in a junkyard. They'll put forks on that. That's already sold. So it's pretty cool that a lot of this equipment, once it leaves here, it's already sold. So you see a lot of these overseas, the wheeled excavators with the steel wrist on them and little dump trailers, which it's great for, you know, a lot of the type of work that they do, where they can, they seem like they use excavators for a majority of all the work over there. And you can carry your trailer right here with your attachments in it, put your materials in here, hook it to the hitch, and just pull it around to whatever little projects you have to work on. So it's cool to see all the variety of equipment and the specifications that everything's set up to meet everybody's different needs. You know, obviously I don't have any demand for something like this with the type of work I do, but I don't do, you know, stuff inside cities and towns where this is a necessity. I'm not going to drive a track 220 up and down the streets pulling a wagon. It's not the type of work I do. So it's even got some little outriggers back here. That's kind of a pretty cool little setup. It doesn't really look like it interferes with anything. Looks like once it's folded up, it's kind of tucked up in there. Pretty compact. So some rollers. So fun fact, the wheel loaders and the rollers are produced in the Shippensburg plant, which is right beside the customer center. Excavators come from Korea, and I got to go look at the tag for the haul trucks. I think they come from Sweden. Let me walk over here and look at it. Let's see, this is the 30-ton. Best I remember, they all come from Sweden. I think all the bigger ones, 25 to the 60. Yep, Sweden. So fun fact on that as to why a lot of them are made at different places. So like the rollers and stuff, they actually bought out another company to improve off of it. So that's how Volvo created a line of rollers, is they bought out, I think it was Ingersoll Rand. And it just makes financial sense for them to keep producing it in the same plant that it came from. Well, that plant just happened to be in Shippensburg, and that's where, like I said, the loaders are now produced and the rollers. And the excavators are in Korea because the base model Volvo excavators actually came from Samsung. So the excavators are still produced in Korea because that's where the Samsung plant was originally at. So it's pretty cool that it just, you know, it just makes sense to keep using the same plant that the machine came from. All right, so I'm here today, and this is the 250E. It's actually set up to be remote controlled for special applications where it doesn't put an operator in danger. Saying you're doing some demolition and it's a hazardous area, something like that, and you don't, you know, possible where something could fall and injure the operator. You have it set up on remote control where you can come over here to a safe distance. This is Todd. He is the product manager for the specialty applications. Special application. So what he has is the remote control. That literally looks like a remote control for like a concrete pump or something like that, one of those pumper trucks. So you've got pretty much all your functions set up on this so that you can run the excavator from a distance. It's like you mentioned earlier, a lot of people are gonna be like, why would you want to run this machine from outside of the machine? You got all your comforts in there. But it's like you mentioned earlier, like the train wreck they had, you know, you're trying to process that up. They don't know what material's in there. It could be hazardous, not good for your health. So you can stand from a safe distance and be able to execute the project and task and not put your health at risk.
You can still use the machine, you know, when you don't need the remote, you can use the machine.
Yeah, you just put that up and you can just run it just fine and dandy like the normal setup. So show me quickly kind of, I guess, the scope of how this works. So you had mentioned earlier you got your power, and then you have
here, and then this is like an access
card so that just nobody can just grab it and go to work with it. Got you.
And then you can see on the machine there's the light on the bottom, that solid green.
So the little tower right there beside the strobe light.
Yep.
They got the green light on the bottom.
The green light on the bottom means that the machine is ready to accept control from the remote.
Okay.
And then you see the flashing green light on top. That means that the remote is active.
Okay, so it's connected to the remote.
Connected to it, yep. And you can do everything you can do inside pretty much.
So you can start the machine, cut it off, everything from the remote.
Start, stop the machine here. So you're starting the engine.
Yep.
You have engine control here. You have different lights, like the front work light, the rear work light.
Oh, so you can turn all that on from...
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Strobe. You got the horn here. You have the ability to change from low speed, high speed travel. And of course, all the hydraulic functions here.
So all this is set up like your normal operating pattern?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, so just like you have on the machine, there's a lockout, hydraulic lockout, like you have the red lever on the machine.
Yeah.
You push this button, that activates.
So that's your safety that engages your hydraulics functions.
And then like boom up, just like you're in a machine. Boom up. You twist this.
Oh, so the twist is now for the grapple.
That's for, yeah, open and close.
Because I want to ask you if that was going to be, because I was trying to figure out, you know, on a joystick you have buttons, and how not to make it awkward, like trying to you know, multifunction, so you can still just kind of twist it as you go there. And then
it's pretty easy to twist, and also.
And then I assume the left one would be the rotate.
That's right. Yeah.
Look at there. I've never even used it and I already figured it out.
And then you have the arm in and out, and also swing.
Swing left and right.
Yep. So pretty much everything you can do from inside the
machine.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the next best thing is to see how good somebody that's never used one can pick up a block.
Yeah, I think you should give it a try.
I'm gonna give it a try. You offered. Here's my first time trying it out. Like you said, everything is set up like an excavator. It's just, it's different. It's different. So I'm going to try it out and just kind of get a feel for it and see if I can pick up a block with it. This is the first time running this. So you just kind of get a feel for it. I've never really used a clam like this. So trying to get a feel and make sure I've got everything grabbed here. The main thing I'm doing is making sure I don't forget which one's open and closed and drop your block in front of everybody. So for open and close is actually twist that right there, and best thing I can do is just keep my fingers off of that until it's ready to open up. Because he didn't say he had a spare one, and I don't want to have to make him find a spare block. So I'm going to try and see how well I can grab 2 blocks and stack them together. Let's see how well I can do that. I don't know why I want to do the stick out swing there. Let's see, we need to rotate just a little bit. That might go in there, it might not. It's not perfect, but it worked. Don't want to keep spinning it the wrong way. There we go. Swing. I guess like the hardest thing to get used to is you're always used to looking straight out the cab. So it's kind of like you've got to remember which functions do that. Because normally when I run stuff, you're not standing from the side looking at it. So I'm like, all right, I need to stick out, but I'm looking at it backwards here.
It helps to be like directly beside the machine.
Yeah, I'm
almost behind it.
I'm figuring that out, because standing here from the side, it's kind of like, this feels weird. Well, there it is. I stacked 3 blocks, and now I get to put them back. We're not going to go with the 4. Well, that was fun to try out. It's just like he said, you know, you're used to looking at it from the seat, so you could probably be a little bit smoother if you were standing like more towards that view, because when you're standing up there looking at 180 degrees, it just kind of, I don't know, it messes with your mind as far as like the functions you need to do. So he's working on putting the blocks I stacked up back into the stack right there. That's all you need. Oh, half scoop Mikey.
Yep.
This is great.
Yeah, he always chews us up with that half scoops.
I have no idea what you're talking about. No idea what you're talking about.
Oh, here we go.
I finally found something his speed. Foot swing. Whee! Now remember, you have to fill your hole back in before you leave.
Kind of swing conscious right here.
As much as you can apply. So here we are the day before Everybody's doing their little practice runs on everything to make sure everything works fine and dandy. We tried out the loader challenge a little bit earlier, and everything is pretty much set up and ready to go. As you can tell, they're taking all the Volvo staff members around and kind of showing them everything and what they will be working on, and showing off and just explaining any little things that they need to be filled in on. All right, so we are in the electric EC 230, and I'm just going to kind of show you how quiet everything is. Key is on. All right, so everything is completely changed here now. That's a different screen. Show me what I'm looking at.
No, you need to crank one time. You see 56% charge.
Okay, so crank it one time.
Crank it one time.
Yeah, do it right.
The big screen, you have everything coming on now for
Okay.
Peak assist.
Yep.
Then you don't wear your safety belt.
So if I put that on, it'll quit beeping at me.
From the right to the left is a 3-point seat belt.
Oh, it's a 3-point seat belt.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you all
Look at me.
If you want to see the display again, hit escape, escape, escape. Okay, now you're the main work screen. And the moment you flip this one up, the safety bar, like on the big excavators, it's on.
That's it.
And that's the noise you have.
Mike, do a quick walk around. That's literally as loud as the machine is sitting here running. Cut it off.
I think the fan's as loud as the actual machine.
1600 RPM.
Really?
So that's wide open right there. We would dig, but we were told not to dig. They didn't approve that. So, but that's how you know, here's the motor.
Yeah.
So what we're hearing now is just the electric motor turning the hydraulic pump.
You see now it turned off.
Yeah.
Because you're not using a function.
So
raise the boom up.
But as soon as I, you know,
Raise the boom up. See?
that's a whole different world right there.
it's wide open right there.
You see the funny thing in there? Please don't damage it. Else I'm
Oh yeah, that's.
on the shit list again, you know.
Not you, Lars.
We were not expecting that to move. So
That's wild.
That's 1600 RPM, and that's 13.
So 1600 RPM would be like what we know is high than general purpose.
Actually, so on my 220, like in performance mode, which is H, is like 1800 RPM. So it looks like the electric, they turned it down about 200 RPM.
Could be.
For that. And
But your throttle knob looks the same. You got all the same familiar
everything's
Volvo.
in here. There's no fuel gauge. I guess is there not a temperature gauge? Well, what is that?
But you can go into the menu and see the temperatures.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right now it's showing the batteries are at 56%.
Correct. Yes.
And at the rate that it's been used at, you can use it 4.9 hours.
Yes.
On that. So as you're sitting here working, it'll just kind of decrease your battery, and then it'll give you a display on that. And what were you saying? I could do what now?
No. In the display, you have the functions when you go into the menu button. You know, you can go through it. You can change your pattern mode.
Yeah.
You know, change settings for you.
Okay, so I can go through here and see all the motor temperatures and everything, and all that. So you're saying this also, this one has heat and air conditioning.
Yes.
So with this machine, obviously it's got a humongous battery bank on it.
It has a huge battery
So
bank on,
I mean, the machine doesn't even have to be running, does it?
No.
Because there's no need for engine to be sitting here running. So
that's a neat thing. Right now, the machine is ready to go. The moment you will touch this joystick, it will turn on.
And it's good to go.
Yeah. There's no delay.
No delay at all. We got air conditioning.
It's nice.
That's nice. Let me side of it down a little bit. We don't need all the lightning bolts.
And then you have all the other functions, if you need them or not. It depends on the customer. All the other options, we have all the different versions of Dig Assist, the 2.3, the D3. We have X1 for your plumbing, we have X3 for your plumbing, hydraulic quick coupler.
So is this going to be the new replacement for the 220, or will they still make the 220?
We will always make the 220 as long as we need, as long as we can.
Will there be a 230 with the diesel engine, or will the 230 strictly be electric?
230 will be the electric version.
Well, does this weigh more than the 220?
Slightly more. It's a 23 to 26 ton machine.
Because
so
is
it's
that
50
because
plus
all the
thousand pounds.
batteries?
Yeah. Yes.
So,
Plenty of counterweight.
you what?
So you got plenty of
You
counterweight.
got plenty of counterweight.
It's actually good for the machine, you know.
Yeah, probably the stability is pretty good. So hopefully this will come back to the customer center. That's the hopes.
I have one at the customer center.
One. Sound, you know,
One
that
is
sounds like
here,
an engine.
and 2 more at the West Coast.
Road trip.
Yeah.
And yeah, come by the customer center.
Try it out. I don't know if I want to get out of this area. It's really good.
I should, maybe next time I don't tell him.
Yeah.
Not in Las Vegas.
That's how you keep the customers out of here.
Yeah.
You don't tell them, like, let's just run it.
Wait, let me turn on the heated seat.
Oh, yeah.
I know where that button's
It's
at.
been a long day. All right, well, I appreciate it. That was fun.
Yeah, come by. Both of you would love to walk around the machine, and you can actually use the machine
Try
and
it
dig
out.
it. Yeah.
That would be interesting.
That's a nice shot. It's being turned off.
Nothing
So
you
quiet.
need to do. Yeah.
You don't have to sit there and wait for the motor to cool down or anything.
You don't have any hot turbo shutdown on this one.
Turbo shutdowns on this one right here. And it is after 5 on the day before. Everything is pretty much ready to go. They'll finish uncovering a little bit of stuff. Cleaning crew will come through here tonight and finish wiping everything down. They are getting the rake, the gravel raked out, and all the equipment dusted off, and pretty much first thing in the morning everything is ready to start. That looks kind of familiar.
It does.
It does.
More familiar to you than it does to
I
me.
know, it sure does. Sometimes you just gotta wait a minute until everybody clears out so you can,
Logo, man.
I know. It needs to be a little bigger.
I still like the
It's the
most
prototype, so we can still give them information on what they need to do.
random feature I like so far is the lights on
It
the
does, so you can see where you're digging.
You got that big a bucket. You need 2 lights for
You
it.
need to be able to see what you're digging. So this is the new EC 500, and from what I've been told, it's supposed to replace the 480. This one is currently the prototype, so it'll actually go back to
So can you tell a difference in size between this one and yours?
oh yeah, the 550 was probably, I would say the panel doors are maybe 6 inches taller, and the bucket, oh, the bucket was definitely bigger. Yeah, this one's 3.8 yards. Mine was 5.5.
Oh,
So 1.7 yards bucket bigger. That makes a huge difference over the day of digging. So that's
Especially if you're set
so
up for
no
it.
coupler on this one and long stick. So imagine this one, Mike. The bucket on that 550 was probably, I don't know, 10, 12 inches taller than that. Add a coupler. I mean, it was like 2 feet taller than that. It was impressive.
I wish I could have got time to come up there and run it.
I know. It was the same one you were at the customer center. So just
It was out in the wild at your place.
I know.
It was fenced into the zoo up there.
We had a free-for-all there. I'm telling you, it was impressive. Move a lot of dirt. That looks like a good perfect size machine right there. You don't have to take
this
anything
a little
apart. Yeah, a little bit easier to move it.
Those big machines are nice once they're on the job.
But for smaller jobs, it's a pain to move them, and the faster you can just put it directly on a truck and go. Yes, this is definitely a heavy haul, but it's a easier heavy haul.
Right.
Another behind-the-scenes clip.
Isn't it intriguing?
This
he
is.
gets really nervous whenever this goes down.
He does. So
He does.
he's fine
He's gonna be sweating in a minute.
as long as he's behind the camera. But
Fine.
when
if he looks over and sees us right now, this shot is done.
It's going to be a hiccup. So we'll probably go ahead and stop this right now.
We
But
don't want to ruin another
behind the
video.
scenes, we have this is the interview that Captain Kleeman will have on his channel
This is correct.
of the EC 230 electric
230. I know.
excavator.
So you want to say 220?
You got, I'm just so used to spitting these. They keep changing them. They need to quit changing them.
Hard.
Ah, the paint. The paint. Come on, it's the biggest one. I don't know where it went to.
I don't know what it was at.
I don't know. Yeah, I got all of them. Yeah.
Well, top score is like 30 seconds, and
Not on the electric stuff.
yeah, I'm gonna say that I'm not even gonna attempt that because
I'm good at hogging.
I was in it
I'm
like,
not a finesse kind of guy.
yeah, we need something bigger. We need a 220.
Yeah.
It'll probably go a little bit better.
I'm thinking like a big, like a 500.
You need something a little more wore out.
Yeah, it's almost a slot. The slot can help you.
It'll make up for the wiggle there.
A little wiggling.
Charge task is do a programmed route in order to complete the task.
All right, that's pretty cool. So I understand that that's on the horizon, that's technical autonomy. But then beyond that horizon, there's actually a second horizon, which has, how do I describe it, even more full autonomy. Tell us about that.
Yeah, directly behind me is the LX03 or the That's a fully autonomous, self-learning wheel loader. So the design team took a look at what a wheel loader should be and really reimagined it. Started to change all the geometry with the example. There you go.
I love it. All right, Todd, thank you so much for your help. That was really interesting. And again, thank you, 650. Now, folks, we can keep sharing all the ways to help you, but you probably not stay. So I will wrap up very quickly as you head out.